Hi guys! Welcome to the first episode of this new series called Choose the Fat with Net. Just in case you don't know, according to Wikipedia, wait. According to Wikipedia, chew the fat is an English expression for gossiping or making friendly small talk, or a long and informal conversation with someone. I was trying to read from the internet, just to be exact, right? It's just a series for me to share my thoughts and experiences on some topics, and at the same time gaining an insight of what you all think about the same topic. Yeah, that's pretty much what this series is all about. Basically, it's about me talking and you listening. JK. Just a disclaimer, all opinions are on my own. You may agree or disagree, that's up to you. That's totally fine. I mean, everyone thinks differently, so I do me, you do you. Without further ado, let's start today's video on how my good results became a burden to me and how I overcame it. Before I continue, I just want to say, if you are like,
oh, you're only saying this because you have good results.
like,
you don't understand how it feels like to get bad results.
I'm sorry, but you might consider to leave this video now. Okay, I'm trying to make it clear. If you have good results and are studying what you love, congratulations, I'm very proud of you and I'm happy for you. But I know there are people out there who are around my age or younger. They are struggling with their exams and they're worried with their upcoming exams, like A-levels, mainly A-levels and SPM students. I am not trying to deny the importance of good results, but what I'm trying to do here is to remind all of you that there's more things in life and you should all focus on the bigger picture. I do acknowledge that this is a quite sensitive topic to talk about, but every time when I see juniors who are stressing out over their exams, I really want to tell them that they are not alone. If you're one of them, you are not alone. So I still decided to do this video and talk about this topic. Growing up in a typical Asian family myself, and of course being a first child, since young, it is easy to get the message whereby good grades are everything. I was brainwashed that by getting all the A's, I am a good daughter and I can ace in life by gaining entry into prestigious careers. My parents are both from poor families, so they know that education is very important. So since young, they tried their best to give me everything that I need in terms of education within their capabilities. So with their money and my effort, I'm lucky enough to be considered as an excellent student throughout my schooling days so far based on my results. Here's a little educational background about myself. I went to this kindergarten called CEC, then entered primary school. My primary school is SJKC Taman Konot, Kangle Hua Xiao. I then graduated from Wesley Methodist School KL, which is now called Wesley Methodist School International KL. Then after I entered Sunway College back then in July 2018. And now I'm taking a break before I enter my degree. Here are my results. For UPSR, I got 7 A's. PT3, I got 9 A's, 2 B's. For SPM, I got 9 A plus and 1 A. For my A-levels, I got 3 A star and 1 A. So with my results, my parents and relatives always consider me as a brilliant student since young. My good results made my schooling life a lot easier. In primary school, I was able to be in the first class, so-called 精英班. I mean, my social has 2 精英班, and only top 100 students can be in these 2 classes. Secondary school, my PT3 results allowed me to choose science stream. For my school, back then they only had science stream, but for other schools I know that you somehow need to obtain a certain grades to be able to choose science stream, if I'm not mistaken. Then I was able to secure a scholarship, a convertible loan actually, from JPA and an internal scholarship from Sunway College. See, good results matter in the sense that it makes the hike up the peak of success slightly easier. And of course, it gives you the chance to choose, let it be a course or an institution. Back to the main point. How did my good results become my burden? First things first, after entering A-levels, I realized that I am just average. To be honest, the students who get straight A's in Malaysia is overflowing. The threshold marks to get A is actually quite low. Or even if you missed 1 or 2 subjects, I would still consider that your results is good, because I understand that for some people, BM, like the Malay language, can be quite torturing if you yourself is or was an SPM student. Most of the subjects, they use BM, so if you're struggling with this language, of course you can't do well in that exam. But it doesn't matter. Thinking about it, your 36 nilais and sejarah facts won't actually help you in the future unless you're doing something related, you're studying something related, then that's another case. I get what you're thinking.
Having more A's will look better on my cert, and I can stand out more among my peers.
Yes, it's true, but only temporarily. Once you enter college or university, you will realize that there are people who are so much better than you, even though they did not score straight A's. They are very specialized in subject that they truly love and enjoy. After all, I felt that my SPM results are just proof that I'm above average. I am master of none but jacks of all trade. Or if you have heard this Cantonese phrase,
身上咁多把刀，但係冇一把刀係利嘅。
direct translate, it means you have so many knives but none of them are sharp. Quite useless. I was just there. Okay, next thing. After Form 3, just like most of your parents, my parents asked me to take science stream, mainly because it's easier to switch from science stream to art stream in the future instead of the other way around. It's still possible, but maybe you will face more challenges. Another reason is because a lot of so-called prestigious careers fall in the field of science. Bringing this mindset to A-levels, I didn't take any art subjects because I was worried that by dropping my sciences, I will be unsafe. And another reason was because I did not know what I really want to study in the future, so I still went for full science, 3 sciences and 1 math. Halfway through A-levels, I realized that the reason why I used to love science back then in high school was because of my good results. It's not because I like to do any research or anything like that. I was struggling to study during my A-levels, and one day I decided to talk to my parents, and I told them that maybe science is really not my thing, but of course it's just a maybe. I was trying to give them a heads up. Their reaction was, I could feel that they were disappointed, a little disappointed. And right after that, my mom will once in a while try to say things like,
Aga lah, you study medicine lah, you so smart, GPA free some more eh.
or things like,
Girl, take engineering lah, can get job easily.
she's trying very hard to change my mind. And when I meet my relatives once in a while, they will ask about my results. And of course, their compliments will always come with
study in the future study medicine lah. Good can earn a lot of money.
Or something similar. And my mom would always sarcastically say,
I also don't know what she's thinking lah.
I don't blame my parents at all. I know what they want is for me to have a bright future, a stable job. It's for my own good actually. So at that point, I told myself, okay, let me just try considering science again. But when I was studying for my A2, I couldn't take it anymore. And I finally opened up to my parents again saying I don't really like science. This time, my mom tried a different approach. She starts saying,
Okay lah, do arts, study law.
you are smart, what? Okay, the next point is the Cambridge education system is actually very different from the SPM syllabus. In my opinion, the Cambridge syllabus trains students to think critically, and the exam questions are more application based. As for SPM syllabus, I can't deny the fact that it's more in depth. Like we might have lesser chapters as compared to the Cambridge syllabus. SPM has more facts and more description, but for O levels they teach more chapters, but it's more like touch and go, and they want students to actually do their own research and find out more. Yeah, that's what I think. So as an SPM student, I was taught to just swallow whatever information that was taught to me. The more you memorize, the higher you can score. Well, at that time, I didn't question the education system, so I just blindly followed. So being a person who's very bad at memorizing and kiasu, I chose to go for tuitions. If you go for tuitions, you will pretty much get what I mean. I went to tuitions just to score SPM. So I believe quite a lot of students have that kind of mindset too. So most of the tuition centers, tuition teachers, they have no choice but to teach us what's enough to score. Even if my teachers or tuition teachers are dedicated, the most frequently asked question from myself at that time was,
Teacher, is this gonna come up for SPM?
see, I lost the purpose of learning. Fun fact, I used to go for tuition since I was 6 and it continued until SPM. So here comes the struggle when I entered A levels. I realized that I have to study on my own. I have to actually read and understand the context. There are no shortcuts. I can't just study like, point forms, key points. I really have to understand and do my own research. From my own experience, the CIE questions are more application based. It's not the more you memorize, the higher you score. For example, in your textbook, you learn about this certain bacteria, let's say. Then in your exam questions, they might change the question in the sense that they won't give you the same bacteria that you've learned. They'll give you some other organism, unknown organism, but of course with descriptions and all. You have to kind of apply what you have learned on the question itself. Yeah, that's what I mean by more application based. Okay, back then, I used to laugh at my friends or classmates who stay back after tuitions or classes just to ask teacher like,
Why so and so will happen? Why this will make this like that? Why not like that? Kind of like that.
why? The only thing in my mind was,
It's just like that lah. SPM won't ask until so detailed also.
I'm sorry. But after entering A-levels, I realized that I really need to know all the whys. What I'm trying to say here is I was deceived by my good results, thinking that I am better than the majority, but in reality, nope. I am just a copy-paste machine. Moving on to the next point. When I was younger, my mom used to compare myself to my peers. Later then in high school, I'm used to comparing myself with other people. I think at that time, I didn't feel that it was unhealthy, mainly because my results was above average. I coped with my studies really well. Bringing this mindset to college, I struggled. The first half of A-levels was quite okay because the syllabus were quite similar to SPM syllabus. It was still doable without giving a lot more effort as compared to when I studied for SPM. I didn't spend much time studying because I thought everything was under control. I thought. During my actual AS or after my AS, I struggled to catch up with the syllabus because I did not train myself to study, like to actually read and understand what I learned. On top of that, I was racing with time. If you are aware of the timeline for July intake, we have excess time, I would say, to prepare for AS, but barely enough time to master what's enough for A2. So lecturers would actually start teaching A2 chapters before our actual AS exam. But to be honest, my focus was all on AS and I did not bother to revise whatever that my lecturers teach at that time. Okay, I told myself, I have to change this time. I have to start studying already. But with this competitive mindset of mine, I kind of fall into a cycle. So instead of doing better, everything became worse. I constantly felt defeated where, you see, every time when I try to study and like I already tell myself, okay, I need to study. Then when I'm studying with my friends and I realize that they're having discussion that I don't even understand at all. Like, in my heart, I'm like, when did we learn this? Yeah, when they're having that kind of discussion, I'll get panic. Then I'll decide to escape the situation and I try to study, and what comes after is breakdowns. It kind of feels like you're trying very, very hard to run. Like, very hard. You're running as fast as you can. But you just feel like you can't catch up with any of your classmates. Like, you're like here and they're like, oh, there. Oh, there. KO! Like, it's not only that you can't catch up, it's like you can't even see them from afar. Yeah, that was how I felt at that time. Hence, I always try to escape when I feel overwhelmed. It feels like I fell into a black hole and I can't see any light, like no hope. It was quite bad, I would say. I would always have breakdowns when I'm studying or even in class. Like, you see, that time when I had my physics test, I got a 0. It's the first, like, never in my life I would expect myself to get a 0 and I got it. The test was easy, I would say it was easy, but I just don't understand. Then I just get very stressed out with all these things. I get so overwhelmed by the people around me sometimes, to the extent that I had to actually ask one of my lecturers whether I can be excused from one of her classes to take a break and sort my emotions. Here comes the end of the first part of this topic. Continue watching the second part of it in Chew the Fat with Nat 1.2. The link is on the end screen of this video. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment and share it, and also subscribe to my channel.